We're live.
Hey, welcome to BS and Viewpoints. I am Cuddy Coastal, the host with the most, and this is my co-host, Winston Harris. How's everybody doing? How you doing, brother?
Doing great today, man. How about you? Lovely Sunday.
It's a lovely Sunday. Man, this is like a special edition of BS and Viewpoints. We've been gone for a little bit. That's due to me. I had to transfer, different gig, different job, different location. So I had to do a lot of other stuff. I had to take care of home before I can get to the viewers. But I really did miss having these conversations with y'all, and I know Winston did as well. Man, you see what them crazy white people did at the White House? Well, it was actually the Capitol, not the White House, but in D.C. You see what they did?
Yeah, it was quite lovely.
It doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me for several reasons. First one being, what you have to look at when you look at the past and when you look at things that have happened is I have dealt with enough white people to understand that they think they own everything. Not all of them, because I don't believe in absolutes, but usually those type of white people think they own everything and think because their tax dollars, just like ours, do go to pay for that stuff. They think that they own and they think that they can do anything without uh, fear of reproach or anything happening to them. They're just exercising their political rights. Meanwhile, they would want you to pretty much assassinate anybody else that disagrees with them, or they would want you to get beat up, hurt severely. The whole Make America Great Again, it was never great unless you were a white male. So I don't really get that one, but it's like kind of almost like a Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Like they like I've seen it with my own eyes. Like, we get pulled over by the police. We like, hey, I got pulled over by the police one time. No, I was not arrested. And I was I was by this one guy I knew. House, neighborhood's predominantly white, probably like 85% white. They get pulled over. He's yelling and cussing at them. And they just have the light on me, like, do something wrong, we'll fuck you up. He's yelling and cussing at them. And I'm just like, yeah, and then he finally saw it. He saw what I saw afterwards. His wife had to tell him. But it's two different playing fields. He's telling the police pretty much I own you. I'm like, man, be cool. I'm trying not to, I'm trying not to kick up any dust, so I don't, so it won't happen all bad for me. So it's interesting, but that I had already knew that, as far as people. But it's funny to see everybody else realize what most black people already knew concerning that. It's interesting. Give me your take on
I thought it was beautiful. Hoping this ends the Republican Party. I'm sorry. I just hope it does. I'm hoping they see the error of their ways and maybe we can get rid of the whole two-party system in general and people will start voting for their own interests instead of for the interests of their party and rich people. But even though I'm probably pretty sure it's not going to happen. And kind of a rephrase to what you said about America being great for white people, white males. No, it's only great for white landowning males. The regular white males still got their ass kicked too. But
yeah,
yeah,
maybe they maybe did still get their ass kicked or whatnot. But with that being said, they always felt like they were still a tier or two above us.
yeah. But honestly, a lot of people feel like they're a tier two above us because of the smear campaign this country has been running those for the last 400 years. Come on, immigrants come in.
You said a lot. Let's use the term. In totality, everybody thinks they're better than us.
Well, yeah, it's the smear campaign. You see, like immigrants come over and like they think some kind of way about black people until they realize that they ain't white either, and they start getting treated somewhat the same way. You gotta look at like what the past has always shown us. Like a lot of people come into this country and think like we're lazy because we don't have what they're allowed to have in this country when they get here. Not realizing they get a lot more breaks and everything than we get, you know? So they
Yeah,
come in and they look at us because like what they see with what's shown on the news is some ignorant shit is always shown on some news, and it's always us doing crimes when really we don't do any more crimes than anybody else in this country. You know, we're just
Yeah,
televised more. So
televised and penalized.
yeah,
It's a lot more.
because if BML
So
if BML would have did that shit, maybe 10 people would have got out alive out of all them people. Maybe 10 people would have got out alive. They'd have been
yeah, I
popping
think it
everybody
would
who
have
came through the
been
door.
maybe. I think it would have been easily 100 casualties instead of 5.
Said only 10 people would have got out that building alive. Only 10. And they'd have been the ones that heard
Yeah,
the shooting and turned around and walked away like I ain't trying that shit. But yeah, they killed a cop and they injured more cops. Someone died, and they're talking about they're not terrorists. Talking about they're patriots, but they're waving the flags of terrorists and American enemies, the enemies of democracy. Confederates were terrorists, insurrectionists, and they're enemies of the United States. And losers, right? Nazis.
they
Same
lost.
thing. And they lost, right? We are the
They
only
lost.
country in the world where people worship losers and think that it's okay. Like you never hear anybody else worship the losers of a war. Usually the winner gets the spoils. Somehow Confederate people have schools, military bases, and ships named after them. I
Yeah,
felt like
parks,
we should deal what Germany
government
did.
buildings,
Huh?
roads. I'm currently I'm currently deep down south. I see so much Dixie and Robert E. Lee.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, sick of it. Not what I want to see. And so many other different Confederate things. And it's crazy that these things were put in place in like the 1900s just to remind us of, just to celebrate their history in a way, meaning they want to repeat history. They were just putting out those reminders, like this, like they have one of these songs, I forgot what it is, and at the end of the song it says the South will rise again. These people sing it, and they get so happy at that part, the South will rise again, because pretty much that's what people want. They want the South to rise again. But I mean,
Yeah.
we expected this. Some people are like confused, and I'm like, why would you be confused? First of all, that's how you know we have problems in this country. Out of everything that 45 has done wrong, still 57% of white people voted for him. 57%.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Considering everything you've done wrong, everything you've said, all your missteps. Even if you take out the things he's done wrong, as far as his missteps with Russia and this and things he said, it's just that he was a terrible president. Like, what I mean by that is, like, a lot of his cabinet went unfilled, as far as the ambassador to, let's say you're the ambassador to Mexico, or the U.S. ambassador to Mexico. He didn't fill a lot of those seats. So it would just be like, he just made everybody, oh, you're acting this, you're acting that, you're acting that. He didn't even fill all of the seats he needed to fill. He never did it in 4 years. He was never going to do it.
Yeah.
He just literally like ran some things down into the ground. And then he does stuff sporadically. Like, he's real sporadic. So
I don't know. I just think that he was a horrible business person. He's a horrible person. I've never heard any stories about anything that he's actually good at. So why did anybody expect anything different from him?
oh, he's
Only,
great.
only thing he's
He's
great
great at
at is
one thing.
destroying. He's great at tearing shit down, yes, but he's not great at really like anything else.
No, I'll give him due. Don't take away everything from him. He's very charismatic to them, not to me, but to some people. There's
See,
even
I don't
a
see that as
small,
charismatic.
huh?
I don't see as being a bully and saying like that's charismatic. You got to remember those people vote for what they hate for not for what they believe in.
No. But he's also. I'll give you an example. Like there was a small percentage of big enough percentage of African American males that voted for him. One of our best friends is one of them. I don't think he voted for him. I don't think he voted at all. But the conversation when he was like, "Man, yeah, Trump, man, this, that, and the other." I'm like, because he brings that machismo, and for some people who aspire to maybe get to that level, he has a charisma. He has that. I'ma just say whatever the f I want, and I'ma do whatever the f I want. You got to live with it. For them, they're drawn and gravitate towards it. Me, I look at him like this dude. Lil Wayne said it best in this case. Real G's move. Real G's is silent like lasagna. Is that how it goes? I can't remember.
No, I don't know. But I just say this: if you're gonna say what you want to say to people, you shouldn't get so pissy and whine like a baby when they say things back to you. If you can't play the dozens, don't start. And he can't start.
Well,
He can't talk shit to nobody because if anybody talks shit back to him, he cries like a baby. He's very weak mentally. I can't see that being machismo. That's just bravado. It's not machismo. It's not being man. It's not being manly. If
yeah,
you get
his
whiny because
bravado is charismatic to people who never had it or people who aspire to be like it. Like, you got some people, let's call it what it is, with his grab him by the grab him by the P comment. A lot of guys I've seen love the fact that he said that bravado. They loved it. Like, enough that it alarmed me because I have a little girl. Like, it alarmed me, you know, it alarmed me like ridiculous at that. Like, really, you would say that? But that's how they feel. They feel like, and I'm trying to say this the best way I can. Some males feel like, hey, now it's really, with the Me Too movement, it's really a woman dominated society. And that's what some black males feel. And then some white males feel that it is a anybody but white male society. So they follow him because he gives them that inkling or ray of hope that he's going to change it around. That's what I think, because I've seen some people like, yeah, he's gonna make America great again. He's gonna do this for the jobs. I'm like, man, that's all a ploy. Go look at Donald Trump stuff. It's still made in Asia. The stuff that has his name on there. You're an American president. Your stuff is still made in a different country. It's not like you're being a super patriot. Look how much you pay in taxes. That's why you never admitted it, because the percentage is so low that's also not patriotic.
yeah, but also you can't like give billionaires tax cuts and then be like, oh well, we got to fix the budget. Let's take it from the people. Like this is our money that they spend and they giving it to everybody else, but they ain't helping us out. I feel like basically almost everybody in the Senate and House needs to go after these last 4 years. Both sides of the aisle. That's just me. Like we need to just start over with some better trained, so people actually care about what their constituents want.
Well,
Why?
I mean, this is a complete this is a, this is this is a complete farce to begin with. Why? Because if you look at like Kelly Loeffler and Purdue, former senators in Georgia, and you look at them, the Democrats campaign or people who were against them campaign was, hey, they made all this money when the thing first happened. What they're not saying is that everybody in the Senate and the House made money because most of them sold everything because they knew this was coming. As far as when COVID first happened and the stock market tanked, how they sold everything off for normal prices, which is actually insider trading, and then bought everything back super cheap and like maybe doubled or tripled down on it. And
Yeah,
then made money. Now it's back up to about normal, if not increasing. So it's not like, it's just not those two. You just comment on those two. They get briefings on the stock market. Why are you in the Senate getting briefings on the stock market? Why are you in Congress, period, getting briefings on the stock market? Pretty much telling you what to buy, what not to buy. Why?
because businesses are people now. Stock market deals with business. It says business are people now, thanks to Citizens United. They're now constituents.
Those are terrible effing constituents. Man, that there's no reason. So pretty much most, if not all of them, if they took heed to the information that was given to them, made money.
Yeah.
They
Again,
profited. They
well, I
profited
say
off the
everybody needs
pandemic.
to go, and we need to just start over. I love some of the Democrats, but if y'all ain't fighting for the people, y'all shouldn't have a job. That's just the way I feel. And then most of them ain't fighting for the people. But we'll see what the Biden thing, what Biden's cabinet does. If they try to be like Obama was in his first term, trying to be all partisan and being nice instead of doing what the Republicans do. I say do what the Republicans do. Force through the shit that you've been trying to force through for years. If you really want universal health care, make it happen.
Yeah, you got what they got 2 years?
Yeah.
Two? Yeah. In two
Make it
years you
happen.
should.
They should be able to make it happen. If you want to repeal all this, if you want to repeal Donald Trump's tax cuts, repeal them. I'm saying
Yeah.
actually do this stuff. Don't just sit here and talk about it and act like we're supposed to be sticking behind you when you ain't really doing nothing. Actually
Yeah.
have some balls. Don't just sit here and talk about it. You know?
For the most part, the issue is, they're super concerned with self-preservation. And definitely what I mean by self-preservation is exactly that, self-preservation. You got some, Democrats who are in, places that are predominantly Republican. I give you an example, West Virginia, states like that where, hey, they got 1 out of 2, and those people are worried about re-election. So they actually, even though they're Democrats and they're not as conservative, they're still conservative Democrats. So they're still not, even though you have the majority, they're worried about their career. So they're not going to think long term. They're not going to think how this can help you. But I mean, this country, I was looking at this comment, and it holds true. And it holds true for everybody, not just us, as far as being black people. The thing that they never did, the thing that they never wanted us to do when we were slaves here, when we were, forced labor, is to read. They never want us to learn. So how do you keep us stupid? You never let us learn. That's what they pretty much do. They just put stuff in a book. They put stuff in a book because they know, the quote unquote rednecks, even most middle class people aren't doing the reading that they want. They're not going to. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about us, Democrat or Republican. They care about remaining in office. That's why you see, that's why when they did that report, it was so funny. It was like crazy, like 56% of people like Obamacare. But then it's like 70% of people like
The
free
Affordable Care.
healthcare. Yeah,
Yeah.
Affordable Care Act, which is the same thing. It's just the name. The name scared like 10 to 13% of the population off. And it's the same thing, but nobody ever read it.
Yeah.
It's the same
I
thing.
know. It's a stupidity of stupid people, man. And it's amazing to me that, but then again, there's also been a correlation between racism and intelligence. Like, supposedly, the less educated you are, the more likely you are to be racist.
That's true. And in a sense, it's very true. The reason why I say that is because the campaign that they were pushing, and some people have said this, and I've said the same thing. The campaign that they were pushing was the immigrants are coming over to take your jobs. Well, I'm keeping a buck. The jobs that a lot of immigrants come over here to do, you weren't going to do those jobs anyway. You
Yeah.
really weren't. You weren't going to pick the fruit and vegetables in the fields. You weren't going to be a migrant worker. You're not going to. A lot of people aren't going to clean rooms. They'll look at that as beneath them. They're not
Yeah.
going to, do jobs like that. And they're not going to do those median jobs. I'll give you an example. I'm a bigger guy, but let's say I stayed in California. Me and you was out in California for that heat. There was no way I was probably going to do roofing, homie. It is what it is. There was no way I was going to do roofing. Man, in the desert where we was, Inland Empire, 115 degrees, you got the homies on the roof. I ain't doing that. I kill myself. I ain't used to that heat. I
Yeah,
can't because I was sweating just walking around. Picture working in that. They working in that doing rules. A lot of homies wasn't doing that. A lot of brothers wasn't doing that.
yeah,
That's a hard job. It, it's a hard job because if you ever been on a roof, you know it's hard for that point. But it's a hard job because of the heat. It's even harder due to the heat. The heat is like almost like a synergistic effect. The job is hard one. Then the synergistic effect of the heat is one, but it's like 1 + 1 is 3 because you run into even more problems when you're dealing with that heat. Like that's what I'm saying. Those jobs that people didn't really want to do, and I don't think people see it for what it is. A lot of the immigrant jobs, like Donald Trump had immigrants. What did he do? He had them doing laundry and the cleaning rooms.
yeah.
Migrant
But he,
workers. This is what he had at his golf course. You don't believe me? You can research and Google it. He had some dudes who were maintenance men. Now maybe that's a job, but the wage that they were paying wasn't an acceptable wage for most United States citizens. Most United States citizens where it's not going to be no maintenance man for no $8 an hour. But you got to understand the context. These people like, hey, I'm gonna make $8 an hour. I live in the States, which gives me more rights, and they're running away from stuff. But also $8 an hour if you live in a country like Mexico is the equivalent of maybe $40, $50 an hour here.
yeah,
It's not a bad, you know what I mean? When you
yeah,
factor in the cost of living, $8 an hour isn't bad if you're sending it
yeah,
back to Mexico, or if you're
yeah,
sending it back to, or if you're sending it back to Asia or country in Africa. $8 an hour isn't bad if you're stacking money and sending back because they're just not working 40 hours. Some of these people work 70, 80 hours. And
yeah,
they're gonna make $8 an hour, but they're gonna send back, $400 a week every week. It's a lot of money. You can
yeah,
just go look at cost of living. That's why you didn't see those jobs. You never saw an Australian or somebody from Sweden or somebody from the UK doing those immigrant jobs for $8 an hour. You don't see that. You don't see them picking oranges. Cost of living. They're like,
yeah,
oh, he don't pay me enough to do that. It's only the people who come in who don't have a lot, don't have anything, have nothing to lose, coming here doing those jobs. Those are what people call immigrants. They don't call the people from UK. They don't call the people from Sweden. They don't call the people from Europe really immigrants. They don't even realize they're immigrants until they talk and have an accent. That's when they say, "Oh, where are you from?"
yeah. Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
you gotta remember, they're not trying to stop immigrants from the UK,
no,
from the
oh,
Netherlands.
no.
They're not. No, they just want to stop it from where people are brown at. Come on, there's plenty shithole European countries, but Trump never talked about them. Just Haiti, Africa, South America. Those are shithole countries. But there's places where white people are that are just as war torn, but they're not called
Name
shithole
one.
countries, huh?
Name a few. I just want to be humored. I need a good joke. It's been a rough day. Name some, because people need to know that you might live in a shit country.
I'm trying to think. It's the one that Russia just took.
Ukraine.
It started with a C.
Start with a C.
It started with a C. I don't think because they did it while Obama was in office. They just went and just like bossed up on them.
It
Russia
wasn't the
did.
Ukraine.
Well, the Ukraine is kind of a shithole country too, but no,
Was it the Czech Republic?
it was a part of the Czech Republic, yeah.
Okay.
And like Russia just marched in there and just started like bossing up on shit. You can't tell me that that's like a great place to live where motherfuckers just rolled into your neighborhood with tanks and shit. But I'm pretty sure those refugees got into this country just fine, right?
Yeah.
Because it was a government rolling up on them. Dude, there's like all kinds of shithole countries over there. The good ones are just the big ones. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
there's a
sure.
lot of smaller countries in Europe that most people don't even realize when they broke up the Soviet Union. A lot of those countries are like where Chernobyl is really like, probably not the best place to live.
Yeah,
Radiation. I still don't think people are there.
no, they're not. There's like big parts of places like Russia where they're out and it's like a really crappy country, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you can't just try to blanket like just because black people live there or people of color live there is a shitty place, you know?
Yeah. Anytime you put a man or woman in power, there will be corruption.
Yeah, but
If not from the leader, it'll be somebody in his he if not for the leader, it'll be somebody in he or she cabinet. I've
yeah, but
seen
when
some people who attempted to be fair and who attempted to be just, but it's neither here nor there because somebody in your cabinet is probably corrupt. Somebody's penny pinching. It is what it
yeah,
is. You can look in Asia, you can look in Africa, you can look anywhere.
shit, you can look here in the
Russia,
United States and you see a
Europe.
lot of it.
Yeah, you see it here. That's what you get with the tax breaks and people not paying taxes.
Well,
Russia
screw
has the
that.
oligarchs.
Well, screw the tax break. I'm talking about like with this last president. Diplomats were staying in his hotels, paying him millions, paying over what they were supposed to be paying to get favors from him, which is illegal.
Oh, I got another question when you get done. Go ahead, finish.
I'm just saying, like, there's like, was it Ivanka Trump got like patents in China, which is very hard to come by, and most people and most companies can't get. But somehow she got them, but she didn't get them until she got in office. Until then, she wasn't gonna get them. I'm just saying that's illegal. That's using your office and your dad's office for enrichment. It's part of the emoluments clause. But they talk about Hunter Biden, right? But they said while Jordan Kushner and her was in office, they made over $180 million. That's not illegal, and most of it was off of foreign money.
Oh yeah.
But it's okay for them, you know. But it's not
Yeah.
okay for a Democrat to do it. Just like if there's a Democratic president when this insurrection happened, they be talking about string them up right now. You hear all the right wing people talking about, hang them from the rafters, make this. And did you hear about that shit too?
Now what?
In one of the states, they tried to erect a guillotine and tried to drag like the mayor or governor out and tried to they
No.
erected they erected a guillotine and tried to go 1800 in the bitch.
I want to see this.
No,
It's
but most
simply
people, most people don't realize was okay. The erection of the Capitol building was bad, but there was instant houses all over the country that Republicans went to and attacked houses. And then I seen an article where they were trying to say, oh, some Antifa group went to into a governor's house and just started yelling stuff at it. No, senator's house. But no, these motherfuckers was like they like the Antifa was outside the house yelling and stuff. No, these motherfuckers broke into people's like properties and shit. Oh, like at least 3 or 4 states. But you don't hear
does
about
not
that.
shock me because I told you a little bit ago how it really goes. Let me try to keep my camera straight. I told you a little bit ago how it really goes. How it goes is simple. Those people think that they own everything due to taxpayer dollars. So if they tear it up, they feel like they just tore up their stuff. There's nothing you can do about it, and they're protesting, and you have to like it. That's how they feel. I know it's wrong. I know it's not right, but it's very true. Very,
Yeah,
very true. Very, very true. These people, they're not playing. It's very true. They're not playing. They're focused on what they need to be focused on. They feel like everything's theirs. So it's the equivalent of you going home and you breaking some glasses, and then they like everybody like, why you break those glasses? Hey, they might I can do whatever I want to them. That's that action. That's how they feel. I can do whatever I want to them.
yeah.
So that's what you're gonna get with them people. Oh, I got a question for you. Tell me your honest answer. What month does Trump go to jail? Or at least get fined? We're not even talking about year. We talk about literally month. I know he's
Not
gonna
gonna
drag it
happen.
out.
It's
Huh?
not gonna happen.
You don't think he's gonna get fined? You don't think he's gonna go to jail? Some people already want
Nah.
to impeach him.
Well, they want to impeach
Some
him. They want to take him out.
Republicans want to impeach him now.
Yeah, and they want to use the 25th Amendment or the 25th Amendment to get him out of office. But that's just to make sure that we don't pay for his life. Because they get the presidential pension, they get $1 million travel allowance, they get a Secret Service, they get briefings, they get all this extra stuff. So if he gets impeached, we don't have to pay for any of that. He gets none of it. He gets none of it. So they're trying to make sure we don't pay for his life. But
Donald Trump will roll through $1 million in a month.
exactly. But
he lives in opulence.
yes, but we won't have to pay for it. So that's the whole point of it. They're just trying to make sure we don't have to pay for his life. Now, if they actually do bring charges to him and they stick, they're not going to take his passport. And even if they do, he's not going to care. He's going to hop on a private jet and leave the country anyway. He's proven it 100 times. Huh?
Where you go, Russia or China?
Neither. Because he knows the people be looking for him there. He's going to go somewhere else.
Brazil? They're pretty racist.
He's going to go somewhere else. He's going to fly into one of those places, then leave there and go somewhere else.
You think he'll be in the Caribbean?
Nah, as pale as he is, nah. He'll be somewhere though.
Iceland.
Maybe. He might go where Assange is. I don't know.
New Zealand.
But I can't see them forcing him to jail because he's that much of a dick. He's not going to care what the courts say. He's not going to turn himself in. They would have to go find him and drag him to wherever he's going. Could you imagine him in jail?
I think he would. No, I can't picture him in jail. I think I think even if they convicted him of everything, the thing that would set him free would be, oh, he's old. He's probably going to die anyway.
It didn't set Bill Cosby free, so I shouldn't set him free.
Man, that don't Bill Cosby. One day we got to break that down because that's interesting. I got some things because Quaaludes were very common back then. The more research I do, the more I see that Quaaludes and the stuff he used was very common back then.
Yes, but it wasn't that he used them. He gave them to him. Say, here, take these. He didn't sneak them to him. They willingly took them, but that's another story for another thing. Like you can't willingly. You can't. That's like going with somebody and taking what is it, ecstasy or something with somebody, and then get mad because you had sex with them.
Yeah.
Like you knew what you were taking, you knew the side effects of it, and he basically told you what he wanted to do before you took him.
And this is another thing, because I guess we're going to touch on this, because we just go anywhere on BS and Viewpoints. It's good to be back. Man, ladies, let's keep it a buck. You're with a married man in his room, and you physically attracted to him. Why else would you be with a married man in his room most of the time at night? You know about to go down. Keep that a buck. You know about to go down. That's like me being in a woman's room at night. She's a huge celebrity, and then she's like, "Oh, I want you to take these ecstasy pills." You know, if you take them, you know we're probably having sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just saying, what y'all mad because y'all didn't get rich off sleeping with Bill Cosby?
Exactly. They mad. That's what happened. They're mad. Oh, I feel like I'm taking advantage of. Hindsight's 2020. Some of my best deals 20 years ago are crap now. Some of my best deals that I made would be trash. Some of the stuff I spent an inordinate amount of money on are bad deals now. Like, think about it. Think about, the clothes we used to buy when we were like teenagers. I want this or I want that. I want this, I want that. Or I want these $200 pair of sneakers that I'm going to wear and scuff up and not thinking long term. Or I want this, this nice Pelly Pell jacket is $400, and right now you could probably go find one online for probably $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I want this Tommy Hilfiger this Pelly sweater, this Coogee sweater. Ah, bad business decisions. But that's not his fault. You did it. You
Yeah,
knew what you was doing.
my thing is you can't
Just
have
because in
buyers.
hindsight you giving up what you gave him is wrong, and you feel some type of way because you didn't get what you wanted to get out of it, that doesn't mean it's rape.
It's called buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Like you bought it, now you mad that the store won't take it back. So now you
Yeah.
gonna try to sue the store. It's just not. It's not cool. But like with Trump, it's like America, y'all bought this nigga. Don't
Yeah.
be mad. Don't be mad that he did what everyone thought he was gonna do. Fuck
Yeah.
up. Everyone knew that he was gonna bring even more racists out the woodwork. He started doing it while about during Obama's reign in office. He started
Oh
trying. He
yeah.
started rallying. He started rallying racists.
Man, Jay-Z has this beautiful line, man. You was who you was before you got here. We knew who he was before he got here, grabbed by the pussy. we gonna do some other stuff. Definitely, we knew who he was before he got here. He said who he was before he got here. He even told Republicans on Howard Stern, if I ever ran to be as a Republican, I can get them to believe anything. He said that, laughed at the time. He was a Democrat. Then he persisted to give Hillary Clinton money until he ran against her pretty much. Then he started calling her Crooked Hillary. He was
Yeah,
just as crooked, if not more crooked than her.
I could see him knowing why she was crooked because he was probably doing shit with her. But
Yeah, they're both crooked.
my thing is
Politics,
like,
just about all of them are crooked.
my thing is just, dude, y'all knew who Trump was when y'all hired him. Come on, he lost the first election by 3 million votes. He lost this one by 7. He has not won an election yet. It was just the electoral college that put him in power. You guys follow him, and honestly, I can't really respect anybody who follows somebody like that. Like you say, he's done good, but what good has he done? Nobody in his cabinet that he put in places of power did anything to help anybody, to make this country any better, to make this country more profitable. This country doesn't even turn a profit under Trump. Like, how is that making America great again? Then my next thing is
No,
I love how people talk about disrespecting the flag. All these racists talk about disrespecting the flag and stuff, right?
yeah,
But most of them don't even know flag code, or they wouldn't wear a lot of stuff that they wear because it's against
and
flag
that's
code.
yeah.
And I'm just sitting here like, wow, like you'll see like veterans with like the eagle and stuff that says I'm proud to be an American, all this stuff on it. But a lot of them don't do a lot of the things that these so-called patriots who don't even support the military do and say that they're patriots because it's against flag code. But hey, you know, hypocrites are hypocrites, right?
If you knew better, you do better. Most of the people honestly don't even know better. Let's just call it what it is. They don't know better. They don't really care. Um, they have an agenda. And their underlying, a lot of them underlying agenda is that's why a lot of far right goes right along with white supremacy and white nationalists. They're all in that pod together. As far as that's really the agenda. The agenda is they're afraid to be a minority. It really is. That's their biggest thing, to be
But they've been a minority
marginalized.
in the world since the beginning of time. They're always going to be a minority in this world.
But in this country, they weren't. That's
No,
why you think they want us. The Latino population is the fastest growing population in the United States of America. Why do you think they want to start keeping immigrants out? Build a wall, even though it won't help. We just saw them climb a wall. So if y'all can climb a wall, you think they can't climb a wall?
yeah,
Why? Why? Because we've been marginalized. Think about it. For the last 100 or so years, we've been 13.5%. We've been running at 13, between 13 to 13.5% of the population. We haven't really exceeded that. We haven't really got lower than that. That's what we've been running at. But it's the Latino population that used to be around 13%, but now that it's in the 20s and 30s. And they're consistently moving because I mean, let's call it what it is. I see them, Latinos. I have no issues or qualms with them at this juncture, but they're all well on the East Coast. They're everywhere.
yeah. But the
Not to say that
reason
they
why,
wouldn't be,
but the
but I'm
reasons why,
saying,
like they grow, is because like they grow because they have a sense of self. Honestly, we don't. We
Yeah.
don't grow because we kill each other. The cops kill us. We get incarcerated. They incarcerate a lot more black men than they do women. So now the women might not be able to find a decent dude to be with. You know?
Yeah, you got to take some risks. Watch a Tyler Perry movie.
I'm just saying, like, that's some bullshit too, those movies. But hey. So
Yeah,
they
watch
end
a
up
Tyler
marrying
Perry
out of
movie.
they end up marrying out of their race. Their kids end up marrying somebody outside of their race. And now the third or fourth generation later, they feel like they don't have any black in them, even though they do, and they get classified as whatever else they want to be. And so yeah, we don't grow because we're being engineered or not for our population to grow.
Oh yeah.
You can't be less than 25% of the country and be more than half the people in jail and expect your population to grow. You know?
Oh no, it's that's going down a whole nother shoot. We don't have
Yeah.
time for that. Well, I'm not gonna make the time for that today, but it is something we can talk about in the near future. It's sad, but I mean we have to do better. We have to do better at pulling our economic resources together. We have to do better at supporting each other. We have to do better at a lot of things.
We gotta do better at respecting each other, men and black
Yeah,
women. That's the
yeah.
big one. We gotta learn how to respect each other. We gotta learn how to live with each other.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. These are things that has to be done. Because the
Sometimes black
saddest
women
thing I
gotta,
see, huh?
huh?
Go ahead.
I said like a lot of times you see. Nah, I'm not even gonna go there. I'll go there on another subject on another day. I'm not gonna touch that today. That's gonna turn into a whole big thing. But yeah.
Oh man. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
But one thing I do wish that we could do is after the election, just have the reality show Hunting Trump, where like the bounty hunters are trying to find him after he takes off and runs. Come on,
As cool as that would be, it's not gonna happen.
I know, but maybe he'll get drug out like someone who got evicted from their house. All they shit get put on the curb at the White House.
He's not gonna even be there. I wonder will all this stuff even be gone. I mean, it probably will.
Man, he gonna do something. He gonna do something real petty when he leaves the White House. I don't know what. Maybe take a dump on a desk in the middle of the Oval Office or something. I don't know. He's gonna do something real petty when he leaves office. And like you said, he's not. But then I got to worry about the inauguration now because he's not going, which means it's most likely going to be. It's going to be and they're already trying to incite violence at the inauguration. So let's hope that the new Capitol Police Chief will actually do something this time instead of the old one. Because they said he turned. Because they said he turned down help from certain agencies before all this happened, and everybody knew this was going to happen because they had been talking about it for weeks. And the cat. That's why they forced him and Sergeant at Arms to step down.
Man, I still think, man, you had officers taking selfies with these people.
Yeah, these people are the same people that our officers' families are people who are officers, and there's probably some officers in there. That's why they didn't shoot, because they knew there was probably law enforcement in there. That's why they didn't shoot. They don't care if the law enforcement is black, but no, they didn't shoot because they knew there was police officers in there in that group.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, if that had been anybody else, would have tried to breach like that, they would have shot him. Like the lady who ran into the security barriers and got popped by like 5 of them, like real quick.
I'm
Just
talking
had a
about the
mental
lady
breakdown.
from Tennessee.
What lady?
The lady who got shot in the neck?
No, I'm talking about like some years ago. It was a black lady. She was having a mental breakdown, and she had her kids in the car. And she ran into the barriers. They didn't see if she needed help. They just started shooting her. They killed her. It was the Capitol Police.
It does not.
But she made it nowhere near the building. But these people got so close they was able to plant a pipe bomb in the Capitol building. They was able
Oh,
to.
yeah, we have two Americas. I mean, I told you, we have two
They took
Americas.
they
They
took
believe
craps
that
in the
they are,
corners of the building.
huh?
They took craps in the corners of the buildings and then smeared it around.
They did.
Yes,
Well, they're
they said the
nasty,
main guy was the guy in the buffalo suit.
huh?
The guy in the buffalo suit was taking craps in the
Did
hallways of
he
the
pull
building.
that from The Simpsons? Did he pull that from The Simpsons?
I don't know. I do not know. Man,
Oh man,
give me
it
one
is
second.
definitely.
It sucks that I'm live right now, but give me 1 second.
Who wears PJs in live? I don't know. Anyway, we don't even need him to continue. Let's just keep flowing and going. I'm living the dream, if you know what I mean. And I'm happy for 2021. I just want to tell everybody that we lost in 2020 and then so far in 2021. You are not forgotten. Things are real, and we just got to keep pressing through. And I also wanted to remind you and everybody else who's watching this, don't take the fucking vaccine. I said it. Don't take the fucking vaccine. We don't know what the fuck is in the vaccine. You take the vaccine if you want to. Am I taking it? Whoa, I've been making it this long. I'm going to just take my chances. I'm not doing it. No way, never. I don't know what's in it. I'm quite sure it's not for me.
Yeah.
All right. You weren't there. I had to go on my own little monologue. But yeah, the vaccine. That's what we're probably going to talk about before everything happened at the Capitol. But it's going to happen again. The 20th, the inauguration day, they're supposed to be ramping back up. They're supposed to be there.
Yeah, they said that.
Yeah, they
And
coming back.
man, dude, did you hear like what is it, a Virginia state like senator or congressman was part of that stuff? He just got arrested.
Oh, it doesn't shock me. You had a CEO fired talking about I regret it. No, you don't regret going. You regret what happened to you for going. That's what
Yeah.
you regret. Because if you didn't want to go, you wouldn't have went. You had people from Atlanta and different places. They were showing this picture where they were pretty much all on this plane and they were just singing the national anthem and they were waving flags and they were part of that crew. People have been organizing on TikTok and social media. Federal government knew this was coming. I bet you if me, you, and 50, 100 other black men and women said we're going to do something at a capital or, and let's say in Ohio, in Columbus, we're going to go down to the state capitol and we start pushing that rhetoric, I bet you they would have over National Guard, 1,000 people waiting on us when we got there. Man,
Yeah.
ignorance is bliss. You can give me that plausible deniability all you want to. You didn't want to be there. You really didn't want to. Those were your people. Donald Trump incited this. He the one told them go down to the Capitol building and get wild.
Yeah. They
so,
they start off outside the White House.
yeah, he told them go get
But
wild. He talked to them.
yeah. But then the
I
worst
would
part
be.
is when they deployed the National Guard, the National Guard was unarmed. They just had billy clubs and like shields.
Yeah,
That wouldn't have
because you got
had
to
that.
remember.
When Black Lives Matter was in Washington, they had rifles.
Yeah.
They didn't have just batons and shields.
Mm.
And this is the crew. And these people are the crowd of the people who will come there armed. They will come there with like ARs and shit.
Yeah.
They wouldn't come there for peace. That's not who they are. They're not peaceful. They never have been. But hey,
Yeah.
this is America, supposedly the greatest country on earth, right?
Man, that's the biggest smear campaign I've ever heard. That's the biggest marketing ploy I've ever heard.
Yeah, like milk does a body good, you know. And apple a day keeps the
Mm-hmm.
doctors away.
Yep. Milk does
All
a body
propaganda.
good, but with all that pus and feces in there. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
What is in milk? Think about it.
Well, The first couple milkings is milk. For the first couple milkings. After that, you don't know what's. There's no woman who can just get milked. No, there's no animal that can get milked all for an hour and then all just come out as just milk. You're gonna pull other things out of there because you ain't got that much milk. But
Yeah.
that's again a story for another day. Cause
Yep. Final words.
Final words is, if you love this country, you wouldn't be fighting on the side of the motherfuckers who used to fight this country. There's no American Nazis. There's no American Confederates. They're just Confederates or Nazis. So hey, if you feel like you want to be one of them, go be one of them and leave the fucking country. Have a nice day.
Okay, my final words. Simply put, until we can realize that we live in two different Americas, there is no way for us to ever come together. And I don't think we should probably ever come together. We have two different Americas. We have two different viewpoints. And it's okay to have those viewpoints if you're willing to work together, but most people aren't willing to work together. As this country, in the last 4 years, with 45, we've become more divisive and more divisive and more divisive. It will come a point that it will almost seem like us ever coming together is more of a pipe dream than a reality. So if you want to come together, you have to start at least paying attention to what the other side's trying to say and paying attention to the goals that the other side has. But with that being said, if those goals are to completely annihilate you, then really what can you do but annihilate them?
True.
I'm out. Deuces. Hang loose.